Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good evening. It's evening time here in sunny Kent. Thanks for tuning in. Dave, as always, coming at you. Not been on for a week and a bit-ish. We're going to be talking about public beatings today from our servants and how things really ought to be. Because I like to give a balance of how things used to be and where we're at today. Then you can make a bit of an informed decision, can't you? You know, we was always based England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Deb Starr, love it to see you. A friend of mine's just had a automobile taken off of her and copped a beating for it as well by her servants. Now, the point is this: why are they giving people beatings? Why? Why do the police, when they find themselves in a situation where a peasant, one of us commoners, is decided to venture out in the world and not participate in their system anymore, why do they give us a beating? Well, I think it's really to try and keep a lid and get involved in containment. Because all the time you're paying taxes, insurance, MOTs, all these other bits and bobs, you can argue whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. But does it constitute us getting a beating from our public servants? And that severity of them public beatings can vary. There's no standard issue. I mean, you can have anal intrusion against your will, forced down, held down against your will, and have your butthole inspected. And that bothers me. It really bothers me that we have public servants doing that to us. So it's the monetary system, because I have to keep this belief system going. Do you know what I mean? Now, this is the God's honest truth. Our nation was formed on no injury, harm, or loss. So that's it. That's what it was based on. Now, we've all signed a driver license. I wish I'd never got involved in any of these demonic contracts. I really do. Now, we've got ourselves into this situation and we have to wise up and fix up to get out of it. But my friends had a car, an automobile, a motor taken off of her. The public servants now weaponized beyond belief. Yeah, you're not having it back. My personal opinion is we've become a Stasi. We've become no different from the Third Reich. That's it. The will of the politician is everything. You go against them, they're going to come down and send their dogs of war to come and give you a good licking. And I think we really ought to be very, very careful. I hope Roland's all right. See, another man's being held against his will. So they have to keep this gig going so that you carry on believing in their fraudulent-based system. And it's all about the monetary system. The actual money has no value. Money has no value. What has value is you. Your souls, your spirit, your body is the value in this world, as God sees it. God sees us as the value, all right? Not pieces of paper. Pieces of papers are just attainments which we use, like we'd use water. Anything else is just common to man. It's what we use to get by and get our daily bread. It's a bartering system, really. But it's gone beyond that now, isn't it? And the niceties have disappeared. You know, the days when a policeman would shelter you, make sure that no harm comes to you, it's gone. It's finished. But the monetary system is the problem. It's the tax, the insurance. So one day you think your car is yours. You're out on the road. Oh, I'm having a lovely time. I'm as free as a bird. No, you're not. You're really, really not. You've really got to come out of that illusion that you're free. You're not free. And what does a piece of paper prove? This is the point. What does a £20 note, a £50 note, an MOT certificate, a tax insurance certificate, what does it prove? It proves nothing. It's not equitable. It's just a contract. I'm fed up with it. I don't know about you, people in my country. Now, there's purportedly going to be over 1 million people in London on Saturday. Who knows? I'm going up to London. If anyone wants to come, we've got quite a few coming from Kent. There's going to be, trust me, this Saturday in London, there's going to be a lot of people. Spread the word. Now, our friend Roland Ford has come across a few health issues lately, and he's found himself on oxygen and stuff like that. Now the hospital are not releasing him. Now, hospitals, the word hospitality, it means it's somewhere where you go to be, to receive hospitality, to receive, gracious treatment, but it should all be consensual based. We should never be forced against their will. If you get into that hospital and you're receiving that hospitality, and then you get to a point you think, actually, I don't like this. This reminds me of a prison and I want to go home. You should just be able to say, yeah, thank you. And people have been doing it for years. People have been discharging themselves. My ex-father-in-law, many, many years ago, bless his heart, this was about 1988-ish, the year after the hurricane. That was, well, it weren't funny, but it was funny with that weather report, wasn't it? Oh, sleep tight, it's going to be just a mild night, bosh. And Hurricane Katrina ripped through Kent and London and this country. But my ex-father-in-law had an operation, and he drove himself home and discharged himself literally a few hours after the operation. And he shouldn't have done that. He should have stayed there and made sure that it was all okay. But his bravado and his will to live was so great that he... I'm going to tell you a little story about him as well in a second. What happened to him in 1972. Stay tuned for that. You're going to like that. But he discharged himself because he thought, I want to get home, be with my family, my loved ones. And that's what we should hold dear to us, is our friends and our family and our loved ones. The comfort that we get from our loved ones and our families is beyond compare. Nothing in this world can buy that. Nothing. And they're trying to break that. They are trying their hardest to break it. Catch-22 with a driving license. Well, a driving license is it's a permission. You're begging to break the law. So when you get a license, you're begging to break the law, and all they've got to do is catch you in the act. Well, an act is like being on stage with Shakespeare, right? Shakespeare was an actor. These Macbeths and, Shylock. It was all acting. We don't act. I'm just acting in the capacity of constable. Well, stop fucking acting. You're part of the real world, and you're harming people. You've got to stop it, because you're becoming dangerous dictators, and you're the dogs of war for these criminal politicians. But I'm actually hoping that Saturday something might change. I've got a funny feeling that in the next month or two, you're going to see something really beautiful happen. And I mean really beautiful, for the world, for freedom, for liberty, for greatness. I think I've got a feeling, I've got this vibration rising inside me that this must happen. Now, getting back to my dearly departed father-in-law, who died in 1991. I think it was 1990, actually. In 1972, he was in an escort van, and he'd gone down the M2, the Mike 2, and he just broke down just before Faversham. Now, he was at the top of the hill, but he got over the hill and he coasted down to a safe spot, and there's a bridge in that just before the Faversham turn. It goes down and up the other side, and in the middle there's this recessed area. It's like a bridge there. It goes over a lower sub road. Well, he got out of his van and he was tinkering around in the engine bay on the hard shoulder. And this is how important hard shoulders are. But even then, they're still dangerous places, and this is going to prove it. He just put the bonnet down of his van, and a lorry driver had fallen asleep in a lorry and come up behind him and smacked him and pushed him 350 yards up the road. He's then gone in through the windscreen. Luckily for him, he had carpet slippers on. He was traveling back in the 72 in carpet slippers. So when he had his carpet slippers on, his feet come out and come over the bonnet. He went in through the window and over the seat, and he had an impression of a head and two shoulders pushed out the metal in this motor. He was cut from ear to ear. His nose was all over. He was completely disfigured. And for the rest of his life, I can remember hearing him have a shave in the morning, and he'd catch a bit of glass, and he'd get a bit of and he'd pull a bit of triplex windscreen out of his face, and he's had to rebuild his nose and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But the point is this: when they rushed him to Kent and Canterbury, I mean, the officers at the time, the constables at the time, when they turned up, they said, "There's no way whoever's in there is going to survive." But he was surviving. And whilst he was on the operating table fighting for his life, he died, and he came out of his body. And he could see all the surgeons in the room all running around, what colour skin they had, what colour gowns they were wearing, who put the adrenaline into his heart. And all of a sudden he's thinking to himself, I'm fine. I'm just fine. What are they running around for? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just fine. And then he realised he could hear a tick, 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 tock, tick, tock. And he thought, cracky, that's loud. And when he looked round, he was up in the corner of the room next to the clock, looking down on himself. And he's going, well, what's going on here? Then he went down a big tunnel, wherever it was, and he come to he said, I've got to a barrier, Dave, right? And this is true. He said, I've got to a barrier. And I realised if I'd crossed that barrier, I wasn't going to come back. He said, I knew I had to hesitate. So I hesitated. He said, and in the distance, I could see my mum, my dad, my lost dog, my dog that passed away, had a boxer dog when he was younger, all barking, and the mum and dad saying, it's all right, son, everything's fine here. You know, we're all just... And in the background, he can hear his wife and kids going, Daddy, don't leave me, boom, boom, boom. And he said to him on the other side, he said, I can't leave my family. I've got to bring them up. So he come back into his body, started fighting for his life. And he did. He lived to tell the tale. So there's this fine balance between life and death. And strangely, when he did pass away in 1990, on the evening of his death, I stayed at his house and he came and said goodbye to me. The windows lit up. I was aware that I was in the bed, but I was in a weird and different environment. I don't know what it was. And all I can say is he washed over me and my heart was going mad. Every hair in my body was staying up. So, you know, there is much duality to this life that we live in. But I am an old soul, and I feel within my core that we shouldn't be being beaten. We shouldn't have people in uniform beating us because we can't fulfill a monetary item. They should purely only be there to pick up the pieces and to make sure we're all right, as they were designed to do. The police were designed to work for us, not for us to work for them. The hospitals were designed to work for us, the people, not for us to work for them. But it's all become a very nefarious situation, and we know that government has got its talons into the national health and pretty much everything else, and unless it involves money and having control over us, because the money isn't worth anything, it's the control element that they need to keep going, because without that they can't control us. And they know we're all waking up right now. They know it, they feel it, they know what's coming, they know. So this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, there could be over 1 million people. I hope the screen's all right. I hope you can still see me. It's a very sunny day outside. There's going to be over 1 million people in London this weekend. It's going to be fantastic. And I have a funny feeling and a very strong feeling that they're going to start now going to these buildings and saying, we've had enough of you lot monkey boys. It's about time you fixed up and looked sharp and stopped violating us, because we don't work for you. You work for us. Remember, they work for us. So we will wait and see. Inflation, yeah, there is inflation when they've parted your butt cheeks and they're looking up you. You know what I'm saying? And now this is happening. My mate had her car. She's been battered by them. They bashed her up. They've bashed up a woman. These people in uniform, they've bashed her up. They've bashed her. They give her a good hiding. Alex Benfield, the ex-BBC presenter, he's found himself. You know, he's been doing a lot of podcasts, exposing a lot of people. His views are phenomenal. He gets over 250,000 views and then 1.5 million people a day hit his channel. He's bigger than Talk Radio and LBC right now. That's how powerful this internet's becoming. Government don't know what to do about it. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, people ain't trusting us no more. They're not watching our drivel. They've had enough. It's fantastic. But they nicked Alex Belfield on some trumped up charges, and they come round his house. They took him to the station and they bent him over and they looked up his butthole. They seem to have a massive fascination with buttholes, our public servants do. Trust me, they love mingling in there. And I don't know what it is they're finding in there. A rib cage, washing up bowl, you know, maybe a fluffy rabbit. I don't know what they're looking for. Maybe it's like a lucky dip for them. Maybe they don't know what they're going to find. Maybe it's excitement. And now, years ago, of course, they used to have a doctor to come and do certain things. Now, no, all the bets are off. They can do what the freaking hell they like. Honestly, I've got to be truthful with you. If ever the people of this country took back their country and stopped this communistic dictatorship, right, and they actually went and investigated these places, I'm not sure you're going to like what you're going to find inside them. I'm really desperately not sure that you are going to like what you find, what these people get up to. And they're supposed to work for us. They're supposed to be clean people. They're supposed to be of liberty, honor, and the spirit. And they possess none of this. None whatsoever. Hi, bro. Just off to the chippy. Fish, chip, peas, and gravy. Oh, lovely. Sounds beautiful. Don't get arrested. They'll be looking for it up your back door. Serious crimes not being followed up. Smell the dictatorship. Police can be turned on like a switch. Mate, they're violent people. They've become really narcissistic, violent people. And if we, this generation, allow this to continue, my goodness, we are in for some desperate future. We have to get a level on this. And how do we get a level on this? We come together as fellowship. We come together as a people, and we say, do you know what? We've had enough of this. This is enough. And we have to do it very quickly. We have to do this bomb one day. The Bible tells us, as you know, I'm very scriptural. You know, I'm very into Christ. The Bible tells us in the end times that Babylon falls in 1 day, 1 hour, which is 1 day in the eye of the Lord. 1 hour is 1 day in the eye of the Lord. 1 week is 1,000 years. All right. No, 1 week is I don't know. But anyway, it's trains are cancelled on Saturday to London. No, really. See, what more do you need to say, Deb? What more do you need to say? They've cancelled the track. So the government have shut down these networks. It's like Adolf Hitler sitting in his Bavarian outback saying, yeah, no, stop that, do this, do that. And they must be planning some serious stuff. If they're prepared to bring the train network to a standstill, we truly do have problems. Because it's your free will to travel, right? Oh, my day. Is that true? I've got a few friends that are looking into the trains today to see actually whether they're going to be running on Saturday. What about the curry sauce? Oh, lovely curry sauce on chips, let me tell you. They are panicking. Government are panicking. They know we're coming. They know that the people are rising. They know that we've worked out their gig. They know that we've had enough. We have had enough, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fed up with public servants looking up our buttholes. I don't know about you, but I find that deeply disturbing. Why, in the first interest, they would ever be interested in what you keep in your kitchen larder? What is that all about? Yes, Sarge, I've got him in the cell. Well, go and check his butthole. What's the matter with you? Come on. Go and see what you can find. See if you can find the rabbit. I reckon they all get set targets on the day. Right, someone this week, they're going to go and find a golden egg up someone's thingy. Oh, we're looking for the golden egg this week. I just don't know. And they don't use Vaseline, Jesus Jones. That's a very worrying thing, right? Straight in there. Bosh. Oh, matron. And there's nothing you can do, is there? They are, to me, they're like constant. They're like Gestapo torture chambers. When there's no one in the world that can come and help you, and they're in there kicking the granny out of you and doing all this satanic stuff, you're in Germany. You're in Germany, and when there's no one in the judiciary that's prepared to go against them and stand up against them and put them down, Derek Chauvin that's just the apple cart. I have a funny feeling that you're going to start seeing things change now, because Chauvin just got found guilty, and he's been given a sentence of up to 75 years in prison. So he won't never see the light of day again. I could just see a couple of big Jamaican brothers in the prison now, just getting themselves all worked out and getting themselves ready for him in the shower department. Because trust me, Chauvin is in for a good shoving. Let me tell you, he is right in for it when he gets in them prisons. Unless they keep him segregated, he ain't going to last long. He's really not going to last long. So karmic forces may be at play. I don't know. But for that to happen and for that copper to be sent to prison for murder, then that's a good thing. And we need that to happen in this country, because they're getting away with murder. The police are literally getting away with murder. No panicking. You are joking. Does anyone know the lad who farted in a copper's face on the strip search and got charged for it? No, really? All I got to say, it was a fright fart. I didn't know what he was going to do to me. Or violent mother truckers, these coppers now. Violent beyond belief. And they go home and sleep at night. And they're coming from families that we produce. These psychopaths are coming and they truly believe they're doing the right thing. Well, let me tell you, if you stumble across my videos, you fucking are not doing the right thing. You're no different from stormtroopers. You're no different from Germany. Look how we look back in history and look at the Germans. That's going to happen to you. You will be going down in history as violent, narcissistical people. Because I'm telling you now, the people of this country are going to take back control. It's a matter of time now. It is just a matter of time. Do we need to be brave? No. We just need to all come together. It's going to be fantastic. Go to the light paper on Telegram. I'll have a look. He might get off with the appeal. I just got, I was a fright fart. I thought he was going to get his baton out and stick it up me. Do you know what I mean? Because they love the bum. Oh, man, these coppers love the bum. Let me tell you. When 3/4 of the world pop is dead, Jesus returns, how they're scared they are. Yes, they are, Craigie Baxter. Lovely to see you, mate. Lovely to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm not in here for long, but I'm just like, what is going to go down Saturday? So if they're going to cancel all the trains, that tells me they're scared. You wouldn't cancel the train network unless you was bothered. Now, for many years, I've seen many protests, but I actually think we're coming into a different time period now. I think we're coming into a time period where people are really going to start saying, yeah, no, enough's enough. We need to be proactive. We need to get our politicians and our judiciary all back to the rule of law. And that's what I want to see. I want to see every copper at the rule of law. I want to see every judge at the rule of law. I want to see every individual in this country at the rule of law. I want to see people taught the rule of law. Massively on the curriculum. The first thing you learn when you go to school is the rule of law, which is how to be no injury, harm, or loss. You don't hurt another soul. You're careful and you don't deceive in your contracts, blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to see. I want to see the school kids taught that. I want to see them at kindergarten being taught this is how you are in life. You don't do this, you don't do that. Bum, bum, bum. Biblical stuff. Not basically on the Bible, not preaching the Bible, but the common goodness that comes from that book and, the faith-driven stuff. We need to get back there. I had a church man come to me yesterday. He's a buddy of mine. He runs a church. And he said, I'm stopping paying taxes. I'm not he said, we're not going to the church no more. He said, we've had enough of it. He said, I'm having rows with everyone because I can't believe what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is really going deep. This is going through the churches. This is going through. They know that we've become something quite nasty. Something quite nasty. Drive near London and jump on a bus. God, Jesus. They're shutting down the trains. How scared are they? My word. That's unbelievable. So, we need to be very... my friend just had her motor taken off of her, impounded, because the Nazis they got all these compounds now. You're not allowed to have property. You're not allowed to own your homes, ladies and gentlemen. You're not allowed to have control and ownership over your children. Which God give you. God give you ownership and control. And if your kids ever get taken away from you, they're still your children. God, in the eyes of God, they're still your kids. But we are very communistic right now. And if you can't see that, I don't know what else to say, really. I really do hope you can see that we are now a communist dictate. To prove that, we've just imported the Chinese role model of how they've been dealing with this current time period. China's a communist country. We're not communist. This is England, the land of the free. Oh dear. Deb Star, there are groups to connect for the rally on Telegram, the light paper. You might find transport or car share through individual groups. I'm going to get on that. Debs, you're a star. Deb Star, you're a star, Debs. You see what I did there? You see what I did? Anyway, peeps, I'm going to go and do stuff. It's 5:30. I've got to go and put some bits and pieces away because I've been playing outside. That's been a glorious day. Glorious God-given day. Many blessings. I'll see you all soon. Come and join me on Facebook if you want to. We do quite a few lives on there now. And all that are going on Saturday. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. Johnny Osborne, look like yourself. Carlos Poliart, June Gower. Take care of yourself, Tricos. And I'll see you all soon. Let's get ready to rumble.